Hey guys, this is Response. Going to be doing another VOD for you guys. Today we're going to be talking about dealing with all-ins and what you need to be thinking about and how you need to be responding when you see an all-in build. We're going to be talking about scouting, getting proper scouting, knowing when the opponent's moving out, knowing when the all-in is coming. We're going to be talking about force fields, proper force field placement, how you want to be splitting the units up to make your units most cost-effective compared to their units. And simple crisis management. When you do get all in, it does tend to get a little hectic. You get a get a little antsy, and we're just going to be talking about ways to deal with that. All right, so let's just get right into the replay here. Notice it's me against a Terran player. Sorry about that. Okay, yep, it's me against a Terran player on this map here. We're gonna push play, and we're gonna go to my view, and we're gonna go ahead and push play here. So yep, this is a pretty standard map. It's just you got your expo, you got your second expo that's blocked by rocks, and you have your gold expo that's blocked by rocks. You also have these two center Zelnaga towers, which are just great for what we talked about with scouting. They just help so much to get an idea for when your opponent's moving out, because you scout so much space with these Zelnaga towers that it really helps. Alright, so I'm just moving and building my first gateway here, or first pylon here. I'm not really sure why it didn't go to my view, but there we go. Yeah, so in this early game here, I'm just gonna be playing a standard build. I don't really have any reason to do anything fancy or special or anything. Just play my standard game. And that should really, and that's basically what I do every game, is just chrono boosting, early chrono boosts, always right when your first pylon finishes, you get that first chrono boost out. First gateway on 13 supply here. This is all very standard stuff. This was a diamond level game. I don't know who this player is, though. I've never heard of him. And I'm moving out with my first scout. This scout is key here. You want to scout after your gateway, just to not all the time, but like most of the time. I should be using those Zelnaga towers, by the way, just to get that little extra vision early game. But you really want to scout that early most of the time, except for special occasions. But against Terran, I'd say it's definitely always best, because Terrans can have so many options early game, have so many different rushes they can do, that but there's just really no reason not to, because you can get overwhelmed very easy. Notice I'm doing some early SCV harass right here. He kind of deflects it with another SCV, and now I'm just trying to move around with my probe, trying to get all the information I can. Looks like he is walling off here. This is kind of a shame. I can end up killing his SCV, but then my probe's stuck and I can't do anything with it. But that's okay. I didn't really get too much information. I should have checked if he built this gas down here, but I didn't, because I didn't see a gas up here, and if he hadn't built either gas, that is pretty odd at this point in the game. Second assimilator starting up now, and my first zealot. This is just a very standard build. 13 gateway, and then cybernetics core, and then your zealot, and then your second assimilator. All just a great way to get a lot of early units. And notice I'm chrono boosting my gateway here. This is key for this type of build, where I'm going to be going my one gateway expo style, because you need to chrono boost this gateway to get enough units to stop. You don't need to chrono boost your probes, because you're constantly building them, and probes are big. But once you get that second nexus up, you're going to be getting a ton more probes than your opponent anyways. And notice the scouting here. I saw him scout me with an SCV and then pulled his SCV away right away. When they do that, when they scout you really quickly with your SCV and then leave your base and just they don't really get any scouting information at all, it's usually a proxy build. It's usually there's going to be units, there's going to be a building somewhere, maybe a factory, maybe a second barracks that he doesn't want me to see or something. So I'm scouting all around with my probe here. I went back here. I should scout down here next. And I'm trying to find that proxy building. That is key when you see that SCV leave right away, or probe. The same thing goes with Protoss. If they scout you, then move their probe right back. Some type of proxy, probably.
Shadows.
So that's just a good thing to note. And you notice I'm scouting everywhere with it. I don't know what that could have possibly meant. I don't know why I'm going up that way. I should have gone down here or this way, but I guess not. And I'm scouting up here with my stalker. I'm just really curious as why he scouted that SCV, and I'm going to be using these Naga towers here. Really curious as to why he moved that SCV out so quickly. And notice the scouting, like I talked about. You want to be scouting the map everywhere if you have any inkling that an all-in is coming. And that quick SCV leave is a sure tell sign. But I don't see anything. Maybe I could have scouted down here, but I don't see anything. So I guess I'm just gonna leave my. I'm like, all right, well, I'll just leave one probe at each Naga tower, and just play standard from there. And if I see anything cheesy, I can react to it. Notice my Nexus is just about halfway done, so still got quite a while on that. But I've been chrono boosting my units, so I have a nice little force. 2 sentries, 3 sentries now, 1 stalker, 1 zealot. Sentries are key, are huge in dealing with the early rush builds. With the force field upgrade they have, and the guardian shield, which takes away 2, what is it? It deals range damage, decreases that damage by 2. It's just so huge. And now I see what he was doing. He's doing an SCV plus Marine all in. I instantly cancel my Nexus. This is key. My reaction to this, okay, I know I'm not going to be able to hold my Nexus because he's doing an all in. So I instantly cancel my Nexus, and I just move all my units to my ramp, and I throw up 4 gateways. And my railway was already started. That is key to react properly. Now, if I wouldn't have had this probe there, and if I wouldn't have seen him moving out, my Nexus would have finished, and I'd be screwed. I would have to try to defend it. I guess I wouldn't really have to, but I'd be losing an instant 400 minerals. By being able to cancel it, I'll at least gain like I don't know, it's like 325 minerals back or something, which is a lot better than a kick in the head, I'd say. So yeah, I have 4 sentries now, which is really great for this kind of all-in attack, because I can just continuously force field my ramp, and not let him up. Just let a few units up at a time, and I can pretty much easily stop this build. So yeah, we'll see. So yeah, that's pretty much what I'm preparing. I'm gonna be holding my ramp here, get a nice little arc in with my units, so they're doing maximum damage while getting dealt the least amount of damage from the ramp. And here comes the first force field. This is the problem with my force fields here. That is not properly placed on the ramp, which is really gonna hurt, because you can completely trap his units if you put a proper force field on. This way he has this little crevice where he can move back up and down the ramp, so he's not going to be losing quite as many units. And this is what I was talking about, crisis management. I kind of just threw the force field down really quickly, which I needed to, but I almost threw it down too quickly to where I didn't place it properly, and that's really a big blunder on my part. And now he is just trying to move back up here. But notice this little crevice he's having to funnel all his units through. Only 1 Marine's being able to attack. So that's really awful for him. So even though it's not perfect force field placement, it's pretty good. Alright, and another force field. That is properly placed so none of his units can get up. But the problem was I let too many Marines up at this point. So he's going to be able to do some good damage to my sentries. He's just targeting the sentries now and picking them off one by one. This is what I was talking about with crisis management. If I would have dealt with that properly, I would have just force fielded the ramp, not let him let any Marines up at all, and then continue to warp in units until I had enough to where I could deal with this size of an army, and then I would let a half of his army up, force field it, let the other half up, force field it. But I just don't have quite enough units to let this many units. I don't have quite enough units to defend with to let this many units up my ramp yet. So that's a definite mistake there. And I force field here, which is just really not a smart force field at all. That's not doing anything at all. It's not. But my guardian shield was definitely helping there. And I still have, and he's still losing way more. My units are being way cost effective here. compared to his units when he's up the ramp. But now he's up the ramp. Now I have a big problem to deal with. My Immortal's going to finish, and this is just really terrible timing here. My Immortal finishes right when he moves his Marines, and they just pick it off so easy. Now at this point what I have to do, I know that he's pulled all his SCVs up. There's no way he has any more Marines coming. I mean, I guess he could mule and have about 4 or 5 more Marines coming, but this is pretty much his whole army. And if I stop this attack, I'm going to win. So I'm just going to pull my probes off, get my stalkers out, and just try to surround the Marines and just kill all of his units. And if I stop this, I'm going to win. And I keep warping in more units. So yeah, I lost all my probes there, as you can see. But it really just doesn't matter because he just... Let's take a look at his base. Whoops. Go to the end again. Let's take a look at his base here at the end. Yeah, he had energy for 1 mule, but I mean, look, he has 5 minerals and he has got 4 units left, and I have 6 stalkers. So I would have easily overwhelmed him, anyways. At that point, he was pretty much dead. But again, I didn't deal with that perfectly, I'd say. There is definitely room to improve defending that rush, but I did enough. I force fielded my ramp enough. I kept my cool enough and kept warping in units enough. I didn't let my minerals skyrocket, which is a very common thing for people to do when they're being rushed like that. They forget to build units or forget to build pylons, and they'll be units stuck for like 5 minutes or something at like 50 supply and have like 1,000 or 2,000 minerals. And I see that all the time when people are getting rushed. And if they just remember to build pylons and remember to warp in units, they'd be able to stop the rush properly. Since they don't, like if I would have gotten supply stuck, I would have had 1 zealot, 1 stalker to stop. But I remember to build pylons, I remember to build gateways, and I was able to warp in enough units to stop the rush. Alright, that's going to wrap this video up. I hope you enjoyed it. And stay tuned for more.